Hello guys, welcome to part 2 of this how to create 2D animation series. In today's episode we're going to be animating. Today's series we're going to be animating. We're going to make the characters talk, walk, or maybe run. You will learn up to speed. This is a beginner course tutorial. You can check out part 1 where I show you how to download the software and how to install it. So if you have not yet installed the software, check out my part 1 video where I show you how to download it and install it. This part is aimed at showing you on how to animate using Anime Studio Pro More 11. So let's start. Run up the software, run it as administrator, run as administrator, click yes, let the software load. For me it takes time because I'm running a lot of software at the same time, so the CPU can compensate, but it should load anytime soon. Okay, now by default the software comes in with a built-in scene and it shows actions of a character, but we're not going to be using this character. So click here at your top left where it's written unnamed.anime. Here, as you can see, I'm pointing with the mouse, and close that. Let's start up our new file, new, or Control N. In this tutorial, we won't be covering much of the tools. We're just going to be covering tools that we're going to use. The most of the tools that we're going to use are the tools for the workspace, tools for the layer, and maybe tools for the bones, which will show up later when we add a character. Let me just quickly explain on the tools for the workspace. We're going to be using these tools, workspace tools. Sorry about that. Workspace tools, which is pan and zoom. I'm not really concerned about rotation and orbit because we're not going to be rotating any scene, we're not going to be moving any scene. Orbit 2 is for 3D. You can still make 3D animations in the same 2D software, Anime Studio Pro. So if you're using a laptop, you're not using an external mouse, which I'm using, you can still use pan, left click to drag wherever you want to show your screen, wherever you want to view. This blue box, rectangle box here, this blue box represents the scene. This is where the magic happens. This is like the camera, and you can use this to zoom in and zoom out, zoom in and zoom out. Click, left click, then drag forward is zooming out, then left click, dragging out in is zooming in. Okay, not to waste much of the time, let's start animating. This is your viewport, this is your workspace. Maybe let's say you've accidentally rotated the scene and you can't do anything, you can't undo, you can't see upside down. You just come here over the top, restart view on the top here. So how to import a character in Anime Studio Pro. It comes with built-in characters, and you can still customize them. Go to the panel on your top right corner here where it says character wizard, and click left click. Should load up this window. This is the character, but we're not going to be using this same character. We're going to edit the character. I'm going to show you how to animate using the same character. So this is the first step that we're going to take. Let's edit it. Let's give him some muscles on the legs. Let's make them thin. Let's exaggerate his body. Make thin muscles, small shoes, small foot, hips, enclose them a bit. Let's give him a big upper body and a big head, shoulders, big body, and muscles. And the head height. Should we change the height of the head? No. Let's make him tall. Torso height. Okay, just like this. I like it this way. And you can click here on the face to edit the face. The hair, this is where you change the hair. Let's give him a bald head. Give him a big neck. Big head top, mid top. Okay, let's leave everything like this. I like it this way. If you want, you can customize it the way you want it, but I'll just leave it the way it is. And let's jump movement and go direct to the clothing. Let's give him a black trousers, in kind of blue shirt, dark, a navy blue shirt, like this. Looks perfect. Now to change the skin tone, you have to go to style. You always have to change the hairstyle, hair color, even if you've added a bald head, because the eyebrows here are brown. So change the hair color to black, unless if you want them to be brown. Change to black. Change the skin tone a bit dark color. Click OK. Okay, that's nice. The movements. We're not going to be editing these movements, but if you really want to use the built-in movements, you can still edit this part. I won't touch this part. I'll just leave the character the way it is, because we're going to be creating our own movements. That's how to animate. Sure. I'm not going to be showing you all of the tools today, because this video is based on showing you how to animate in Anime Studio at a speed pace. So this is how you import a character. In the future, maybe I'll teach you how to create a character, but as in for now, we're going to use the built-in characters. And let's click OK. I'll be explaining most of the tools that we'll be using in here as we go. So if you haven't understood, be sure to ask in the comment section below, or you can still rewind the video, play it, pause it, play it, and understand. Make sure you are clear. So when you've imported the character, there comes a layer panel. This is where you're going to choose what to manipulate on the workspace here. So by default, it comes in with a switch layer. Switch layer means it has a lot of areas where you have the front, side, back, and 260 degrees pause, half degree pause, half side pause. So this is a half front side pause, front pause. It's mixed with the front and the side. This is called a switch layer. Let's say, for example, you have a scene where you want to use the front side. You can right click, then click front, then the character will switch to the front. If you have a scene where you have characters facing at each other, you can switch to side, and you can see the character switches to side. But we're going to be using one side, which is the front head. Okay, I'm not going to be using all these bones, so what we'll do is highlight, click here, drag it out until it pops out, then hide this layer and delete it. We're just going to be using this side for this tutorial, and click on the bone. As you can see, when you click on the bone, the bones show up, and here you have bone tools. We're not going to be using all these tools for now. These tools are used when you are creating a character, and we'll get into that when we start creating our own characters. We're just going to be using the manipulating tool, which is Z on the keyboard. So let's start animating this guy. Before we start animating, you have to think of a scene that you want to create. For me, I've got a scene in mind and I've created audio for it. You can still record on your own time. Let's import audio into this scene. For you to import audio, you have to go here on the layer panel, left click, and go down where it says audio, and locate your audio file. For me, I was editing it with FL Studio, should be somewhere here. Named it Dr. Speed. Let's listen to the audio first.
Dr. Speed, do you copy? Dr. Speed, do you copy? Somebody just started the door. We need to secure the perimeter. Dr. Speed, do you copy? Dr. Speed, do you copy?
Okay, let's